Da-da. Welcome to episode 49. Okay, before I start, you are going to need a pen and a bit of paper, or a pencil and a bit of paper, because you will be wanting to write a few notes down a little bit later on. But how did we get to this point? So, this is episode 49 where I dox them all. And there's been a lot of things said about me on Craftsnark and Bit Cheating Crafters recently. And I wanted to show you just one of the ridiculous conversations that happened on there recently and all the accusations that they make against me. So I'm going to kind of dive straight in, and I've done it on a PowerPoint, sadly, because whenever I try and show Craftsnark or Bit Cheating Crafters on here, for some reason it doesn't actually show. So here we go. Now I need to just open this up on my screen a second. As you all know, I'm rubbish at technology, and although I was prepared and had this ready on my StreamYard screen, I don't have it ready on my computer to actually be able to turn the pages. So just give me a second while I figure this out. Oh, I don't have to, do I? Oh, do you know, I'd be dangerous. Anyway, right. So hopefully you can see this. Now, this was a post that was put on Bit Cheating Crafters a couple of weeks ago. And whoever it is who posted it, afterwards, what they did, they created a username, brand new, just a random anonymous username, posted the few things connected to this particular thread, and then deleted their account. So whoever it was just went on there to cause a bit of trouble. Now, what I want you to think about when we go through this thread, I want you to think about two things. I want you to think, one, what do I gain from any of this that's on this thread? What do I get from that? And the other question is, can you think of anybody else that would gain anything from what ends up getting discussed? So what it is, this person claims to have found this bit of information here. Now, I'm not going to confirm or deny whether this bit of information is connected to me or not. And basically, it's a post about Arcane Fiber Arts offering a discount for blocked magazine readers. And the ensuing discussion was basically trying to cancel Arcane Fiber Arts. And the reason for cancelling it was just because they think there's a collaboration or an association between myself and Arcane Fiber Arts. Now, I can confirm that there isn't. I don't have a collaboration with anybody. I do all of this. If there was, you would know about it. And so why would somebody want to cancel Arcane Fiber Arts? Why would anybody want to cancel him? Because he's a yarn dyer. He lives in Canada and works in Canada, and he's quite prolific. He produces a lot of yarn. I've ordered his yarn. I like it. I've got no complaints about his yarn at all, but he is prolific and he's very, very popular these days. So you might want to consider that. Who might want to get rid of a popular yarn dyer? So just keep that in the back of your mind. So this was the original post. Now, then what we had here, and I'm just going to make this a bit bigger for myself. So the first thing that made me laugh is that the auto moderator says that in general, meanness is inevitable here. So I'm assuming that that's because, we know they're going to be slagging somebody off. So I don't know whether this appears on every one of their posts. I don't quite know where that appears from. But anyway, it sets the scene. So then there's a person called Party on the Objective. And it says here, Arcane Fiberworks is Canadian. Going after him in context of MAGA makes zero sense. So MAGA being Make America Great Again. Unless, of course, the original poster just tried to stir some shit and didn't even know about Arcane Fiberworks not being in the US because, of course. So this person is actually thinking a little bit. They're not any one of the normal brain dead people. But then, confident bunch, she says, or he says, the guy running Blocked is from the UK. Right-wing trash is international, as is Trump. People in Poland were recently chanting his name. ETA, I see that the actual incident the original poster is talking about is disputed, but the point stands that MAGA is a thing outside of the US, no matter how brain dead that is. So here we have somebody who is clearly a little bit brainwashed, I would say, because they have this irrational Trump derangement syndrome and a fear of MAGA, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody sort of just put a little bit in the bottom there saying, especially in fucking Alberta where Arcane is. And then this is where it gets interesting. So our Total Knit Face friend, I can't pronounce that very well, Total Niche Face. This is somebody who has an irrational hatred of me personally. So you can guarantee that if my name is ever raised, Total Niche Face will be there to spread lies. So, old screenshot from a Patreon. This feels like someone is deliberately trying to stir up drama because no one pays attention to the Blocked magazine guy anymore. So, the inference there is that I've posted this. So that's why I said at the beginning, I want you to think, what do I gain? What do I gain from this? I don't get anything from putting something like this up. So why would I? And then straight after, and then, oh, look, the original poster deleted their account. What a shock. Well, yeah, it was a shock for me as well. So then we move on. Literally, all I know about Arcane Fiberworks is that they're somewhat local to me. Please, a shred of context. Yes, some context, please, people. And then Capable Basket says, wait, is Arcane Fiber alt-right? I'm going to need more context on this. So, straight away, these people aren't very... What is the word? They're not critical thinkers, are they? Because, it's a bit like, go and find out for yourself. It's like they're waiting for somebody to say, oh, this person's alt-right, therefore you can cancel them. So, and then the original poster who deleted their account, I mean, it looks like being alt-right is not a deal breaker for them, but I don't know. So I'm assuming this person is trying to infer that Arcane Fiber Arts either is alt-right or being around people who are alt-right isn't a deal breaker for them. So this person is absolutely trying to cause some trouble here. And then Nature, they said, they sort of, whoever this person is really got to the bottom of this. What is your goal here? Because at the moment, you're just shit stirring. The post lacks info, and you've had hours to explain what is going on. It's like, yeah, because what is the purpose of this post? And then Capable Basket says, you're sharing a screenshot from an alt-right Patreon, though. Like a whole lot of context here is missing, namely where the screenshot comes from and why you're using a burner account to stir up old, weird drama without more information. Again, yeah, that's pretty hit the nail on the head, I think, there. The post, the original thing that they're sharing, it looks like it's from, is it 2023? So, the sun has gone down on that one quite a few times. And then we have Wonderful Shine, probably a less successful business owner trying to cancel a more popular one. See what I did there? Original post, bestie. Made a claim without a shred of proof. So this one, I like that account. Whoever that is, I thought, yeah, that's pretty good, because I think the original poster is a person that runs a similar business but isn't as successful as this Arcane Fiberworks guy. So then Effort OK says, Petite Knit is alt-right too. And if you disagree with me, so are you. This is fun, actually. So this person, I think, is taking the piss a little bit here, and they make a good point. You know, basically, everybody is alt-right these days, and if you disagree, then you're alt-right too. You know, what can you say about that? And then Fox Live's Facade, that's a great name. Don't forget about her upcoming Raw Milk MLM. I'm not sure what MLM is. And then Edit, added the sarcasm tag because someone didn't get the joke. Yeah, I think people on Bitch Eating Crafters and Craftsnark don't really understand humour. Okay, so we'll keep going. So effort okay. So that's the implication, but this post is from 2023 from an alt-right knitting Patreon behind a paywall. Well, first of all, I'm not alt-right. I'm actually a centrist, but there you go. Let's not get facts get in the way of a good story. And Arcane Fiberworks have continued to collab with Aspen since then. So I think the original poster needs to explain what prompted this post and give some further context. So in the very, very original black and white screenshot, it says in there that Aspen, who used to be Emma in the moment, and they'll all be going crazy because I've said her old name. It's like, well, she was called it, so there you go. She now calls herself Aspen, and apparently Arcane Fiberworks still collaborates with her, so it's kind of a bit like, well, what was the point of bringing all this up anyway? So, and then Copper Spike says, wow, they sound intimidated by Aspen. Sucks to be them. It's not even worth commenting on that one, is it? Effort OK says, this seems both fake and old, LOL. That video was made 18 months or so ago, and since then, Aspen has done loads of Arcane Fiberworks content, and they changed their name. They changed their name quite a while ago, so it seems weird to be using their old name. Yeah, because there's quite a few of them, isn't there? Yeah, so they're talking about a video that Emma in the Moment did. And I'm saying Emma in the Moment because that's what Emma in the Moment was called. The video was called Emma in the Moment, about Deplorable Knitter and Anne Pinkover. And that's mentioned in the very first screenshot there. And then Careless Sherbet said, well, I'm not sure they would actually be respectful and use their new name, but I agree this timing is confusing. No, I'll use Emma's new name, Aspen. Absolutely, I will use, her new name. I've got no problem. The thing is, if she's legally changed her name, that's her new name. Okay, and then Effort OK says, yeah, even if they weren't aware of the name change, or are being gross by dead naming. Those Ravelry vids are super old, and they've continued to collab with AFW on their subsequent vids. Also, why would AFW be collaborating with a drama channel if they are actively wanting to avoid drama and be neutral? No such thing as politically neutral. Obs. Can't say that word. Yeah, so Emma in the Moment, Aspen in the Moment, it's a drama channel, let's face it. So, yeah, I think that's quite interesting. Arcane Fiberworks, to be fair, clearly doesn't have a problem with drama because he's, hitched his wagon to the Aspen, drama wagon, whatever that phrase is. So they're wonderful shine. So, did anyone actually have proof of using the code and Arcane saying something, or is my best friend forever just posting a picture of an email sent from one random person to another that is not confirmed? You do realize this email, if that's what it even is, could have been written by anyone to any right bestie. Or do we ignore actual proof these days? I mean, is actual proof is irrelevant, the chaos that could ensue? Yeah, where's the proof? Proof. Evidence. It's one of the things I'm posting on Instagram nearly all the time. If you're going to accuse someone of something, have some evidence. And then effort OK, asking for receipts or context or encouraging critical thought is an alt-right dog whistle, bestie. If you're not spreading unsubstantiated gossip for no reason whilst the world burns, then you need to do better. So obviously that's got the thing for sarcasm. But again, they're getting to the point with that. It's true. if you ask for evidence in Craftsnark or BitCheat and Crafters, you are immediately accused of dog whistling for the alt-right. And it's kind of like, why? Why does evidence equate to being alt-right? Why? And then Buffy the Thread Slayer, great name. Please may I have a crumb of context? I love that. Best comment of the day, I think. And then Wonderful Shine says, from what I can tell, someone sent a potentially fake email to someone else claiming that Emma in the Moment, who is now Aspen in the Moment, posted an affiliate link to Arcane Fiberworks. Someone approached Arcane because they, Aspen, did a video analysing two alt-right knitters, and supposedly Arcane Fiberworks sent another discount code to use in place of the affiliate link. Sorry, one of my cats just knocked something over somewhere. Don't know what that was. Except there is not actual proof this happened. Aspen in the Moment has done numerous deep dives on controversial topics in the crafting world, and they are trying to imply that Arcane should be cancelled because they support the alt-right creators, even though there is no proof that this is legit or actually happened. Oh, and if you bring up the fact that this isn't actual proof of anything, you get accused of being alt-right, although this entire thing screams of the Make America Healthy Again playbook. No proof needed when there are just claims. And then somebody else who I like the comment says, yeah, I have no idea what's going on. It's like, oh, bless. Anyway, Wonderful Shine again. So they're like the sound of their own voice, I think. So are you trying to get Arcane Fiberworks cancelled? Because while I enjoy their channel, Aspen in the Moment does other topics that could be considered controversial beyond the alt-right side of knitting. Unless you explicitly see them say they support someone, this reeks of a witch hunt and hearsay. They could just not want to be associated with a channel that was making, albeit interesting, waves in many communities on multiple fronts. Now, the original poster put something here which will be on the next page. So I'm not going to read that bit out. I'll go to that. So the original poster here put, if blocked magazines politics are your jam, you can just say that with your whole chest, bestie. Now, I'm not going to say yet, but there's somebody quite famous in the knitting world who uses that phrase a lot. So not saying that this person is them yet, but we'll get to that. Anyway, so effort okay. Someone asking for a crumb of context. Why also you have access to this locked patron post from 2023, for example, and why are you posting it in 2025? If this is true, why would Arcane Fiberworks have continued to support Aspen's work and provide discount codes to them in the intervening 2 years? It's not them siding with the alt-right, it's them being sentient, thinking adults with ethics and not gossiping bloodthirsty internet fiends. Yeah, so what they're saying there is that original post is behind a paywall. So whoever got that screenshot, they're insinuating that they had to be paying the person, well, they're saying it's me, had to be paying me to be able to get that screenshot, which I think is quite interesting because it's like, yeah, because anyone wouldn't like that. These people won't like the fact that this person was paying me money. So, Otterkin, yeah, if I was a business owner, I'd make the same choices, honestly. Not every business needs to be actively involved with online gossip. And not everybody has the mental energy to handle that as well as the business aspect. Okay? And then Wonderful Shine, shh, don't tell people we're besties, bestie. Don't want you to get cancelled too. So I'm not quite sure what that's about. And then unpronounceable username says, for some context, Blocked Magazine is an alt-right, white supremacist knitting crochet magazine that has had drama with Craftsnark. Before my time on Reddit, but they commented on my post once, and I went on a little deep dive, and I think they aren't allowed to mention them there anymore. Right, let's just unpick that a little bit. Okay, so one, Block Magazine is not alt-right. Doesn't matter how many times they say it's not. If it's a white supremacist knitting crochet magazine, could you provide some evidence of that, please? Provide evidence. Show the world. There's currently 20 issues out there now. They're all available, all on my link tree. So feel free to go through every single one of those issues and find one iota of white supremacy and share it on the internet. Let's prove to the world how much of a white supremacist Block Magazine is. But if you can't do that, maybe it's time to stop saying it, because it's not true, is it? Let's face it. Okay, Lanky Sense says, this is interesting, this one. It's not alt-right, it's just not woke left. Plus, Arcane ended that discount and cancelled Neil's subscription to their yarn club ages ago. Okay, that's interesting, because this person uses my name, which is pretty unheard of on these sites. And they seem to have information that, only an insider would potentially know. I mean, how would they know if Arcane Fiberworks had cancelled a subscription that I had? How would they know? Anyway, so that unpronounceable name then says anti-vax stroke mask, transphobic, all lives matter, MAGA post aren't just not woke left. LOL. Okay, anti-vax, mRNA, untested, dangerous vaccines, absolutely. But I'm not anti-vax. I'm anti-mask, yes, because masks don't help anybody. Cloth masks don't. N95 masks do. All those, the ones that you would use in a mustard gas situation, they would work. But the silly things that they were getting people to wear were actually causing more harm than any good. Transphobic, not transphobic, just not going to fall for the nonsense. And all lives matter, absolutely. And if you don't believe that, then there's a problem with you, not with me. MAGA posts, make America great again. Again, is that a bad thing? I think, hoping country makes the best of itself, I think that's a good thing. So anyway, right, so Tabrazin, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that there's a market for an alt-right white supremacist knitting magazine. Yeah, I'm actually trying to wrap my head around that as well, because maybe that's what I should have done. Maybe instead of just a knitting magazine, maybe I should have created a white supremacist knitting magazine, because there's obviously a call for it, isn't there? Clearly. Anyway, Junior ad, I think it is. It all really started when Ravelry decided to clear out the pro-Trump contingent. I love how they phrase this as if that was a good thing that Ravelry did, like as if that was some kind of honorable thing. Anyway, so Tabraxin, I am knitting a pair of socks with arcane fiber yarn right now. It's very pretty. So obviously they're panicking, like, oh my God, I'm going to have to get rid of these arcane fiberworks socks. No. And then Leaves on Stones, the original poster found up a seemingly made-up post from several years ago. The downvotes are likely because the accusations appear to be inaccurate. Arcane Fiberworks and Aspen in the Moment have collaborated since this happened, which they probably would not have if this was an accurate claim. Other people have pointed out that the original poster's source was a locked post on, don't say the word, Block Magazine's Patreon. Then original poster deleted their newly created account rather than explain why they had access to paid content from a hate group. Wow. Again, Leaves on Stones. Please share some of this hate group stuff. Let the world see how bad we are. Is this there's a little bit more under there. So, as other posters have suggested, this is likely just shit stirring to try to make these losers look relevant or to get a reaction out of you. It's probably best not to give it to them. There's zero evidence that anything Blocked magazine or the original poster has said actually happened. Okay, so I just find this really funny. It's like, whatever you do, don't mention the war. And then, you know, from what was it, Faulty Towers, and then all he could do is talk about the war. Whatever you do, don't mention Block Magazine, but keep talking about Block Magazine. And just because you star out the word block doesn't mean you're not talking about it. Oh, and then this gets good. Bing Bong is a murderer says, donate the proceeds to a pro-life group. Yes, that's a great idea. Not sure how, and then someone's put, not sure how shitting on women's bodily autonomy is going to cancel out white supremacy. Anyway, there is zero evidence this yarn is problematic in the first place. And then the person, I don't know, I think I must have missed the original post of this when I did the screenshots. They were, oops, I corrected myself above. And I just meant emotional juju. If people are ambivalent about where a product comes from and they don't want to throw it out, donating the item to a benevolent cause can sometimes make them feel better. Yeah, so obviously they put pro-life rather than pro-choice pie. Freudian mistake. And then effort okay, but good job there's zero evidence of them being alt-right then. So I'm assuming they're talking there about Arcane Fiberworks. So effort okay, perhaps you could extend that, you know, to myself and my friends, because there's zero evidence of us being alt-right. Anyway, and then Sea of Delusion, which is such a perfect name for this person. I don't know. It's probably trad wife bullshit. Everything's trad wife bullshit, isn't it? And then prone to laughter, still incomprehensible because totally unclear where Block Magazine comes into this screenshot. Yeah, thank you for that. And then somebody says, if you look at the top of the screenshot, it looks like it's posted by Block Magazine on their Patreon. And then I don't have their Patreon, so I can't check. It's like, I haven't read this magazine, but please don't read it because of what's in it. But I haven't read it. And then unpronounceable name says, yes, it's kind of weird that the original poster won't say anything else. And then effort okay says, yes, this feels like right-wing shit stirring, to be honest. No other evidence that Arcane Fiberworks are alt-right. And whoever took this screenshot is subscribed to Blocked Mag. And the original poster made this account just to post this by the looks of it. So, yeah, well, if that is a true screenshot, then they obviously are subscribed, aren't they? Clearly. And then Marigan, I think it says, thank you for adding context. This post is incomprehensible otherwise. Oh, and then my favorite Redditor, Queen Baruthiel. Now, Queen Baruthiel is Queen. Well, I mean, it's quite funny that her name, you know, has the word lie in it. You know, if you look at the end of it, it's like, yeah, she's a liar. She puts here, he threatened to dox a few of us on this subreddit last year because we told him exactly what we think of him. So then somebody here says, oh, do you have a link to this? Which is like, great. And then Queen Baruthiel just says he posted it on his Instagram page, naming specific people. Where's the evidence of this? Where's the evidence? So then this is where I come in. So one of my, so obviously this throwaway account was dead in the water now, but I don't care. Significant bed is me. So I commented here, I put, he published names and addresses. Isn't that illegal? And then Queen Baruthiel says, I hope it's illegal, but I don't know British law. So then I come back and say, where and when did he publish the addresses? I wonder how he got away with that. I'm surprised it wasn't bigger news. I hope Aspen in the Moment covers it on their channel at some point. So obviously by using the silly pronouns that Aspen in the Moment uses, it completely deflects it away from me because they cannot comprehend that I would use their pronouns in this way. You know, they think that I'm incapable of using it. It's like, no, if I want to, you know, if I want to infiltrate you, I will. So this is why I'm doing this video, because Queen Baruthiel has said this numerous times. So it's like, well, if you're going to say that I'm doxing people without any evidence of ever doxing people, then I may as well bloody dox people. You know what I mean? I may as well do it. I may as well do what they're saying I'm guilty of. So what comes later, you can blame specifically on Queen Baruthiel. Now, the thing is, when you know who she is, because I'll be letting you all know, you can go to her directly and tell her what you think. Write her a letter to her home address. So anyway, so Careless Herbert, they were actively trying to dox people just based on them being knitters with liberal opinions. It didn't matter if they were even aware of them. Where's the evidence of this? Where? When did I do this? Show it. Prove to the world what a scumbag I am. Don't just say it. Prove it. Otherwise, it's a lie. And then Unpronounceable says, not surprised. I saw on his Instagram, he's apparently also been harassing Size Inclusive Collective recently. Well, just for the context, I don't know, I can't remember when we talked about this, but Size Inclusive Collective has actually been circulating a list, a witch hunt, a list of people that the lefties are not allowed to purchase goods or services from. And she is actually harassing other people indirectly by doing that. She's trying to destroy their livelihoods and their income source. So to try and say that me highlighting that, telling people what she's done, if that is harassing her, there's no hope for you. There really isn't. Anyway, effort okay. I mean, by the looks of it, they are using the same tactics against each other, both doxing anyone who has different political beliefs to them, often with little to no evidence. Well, yes, where's this evidence? You're expecting evidence in your post that doesn't have evidence. The cognitive dissonance here is crazy. I don't love it as a tactic on the left either. Wow, that's big of you. Because they're a leftist. It does more harm than good. This post by the original poster, for example. Yes, doxing people does more harm than good. And I've never done it until today. But now I've kind of had enough. So at the end of this, you'll get your doxing. And then Butters Cupier, I think it says, proof, please. Proof. Finally, someone's asking for proof. And then Effort OK says, comment above says, that's what this alt-right dude is doing. So I think they mean me by this, which is also what Size Inclusive has been doing on her Instagram recently with posts about businesses apparently listed on various right-affiliated American websites. I'm as keen as the next sane person to boycott right-wingers and transphobes, but not going to condone it as a tactic on the left and condemn it on the right. Right, okay, so at least this person does have a modicum of morality there. They are criticizing it on the left as well, a little bit. But obviously you can tell by the way it's worded that it's somehow in their brain that it's actually more okay if you're on the left. Right, and then Butters Cupier, whatever, proof of Size Inclusive Collective doxing people. Doxing, not posting business names. Okay, extend that courtesy to me. Proof of Block Magazine. Doxing people. Where is it? I mean, you'll have it today. After today, you'll have that proof. But where has it been from before today? Then effort okay. Not sure if we are having a language culture barrier issue, but in my cultural context, outing a business or business owner by claiming to know information the person themselves has not publicly stated. Example, their sexual orientation, their political affiliation, their gender, etc., is considered a form of doxing. If it is done in a way that encourages public shaming, boycotting, harassment, or harm, it's not the same as doxing a Reddit user's full name and job, because it's a business, but it's under the same umbrella. To be clear, she isn't publishing random people's phone numbers, though of course these businesses do have public addresses and numbers attached to their businesses. I was in two minds about it for a while because I honestly want bigots to be financially harmed at this point, but I have seen the same tactics used so harmfully by racist, transphobes and bigots that that can't condone it on my own side either. Right. Well, the interesting thing is we all know that these so-called racists, transphobes, and bigots don't actually exist. You know, this is the bogeyman that they create, that they think we all are, and it's like, oh, I can't. There's nothing more I can say about that one. Anyway, so then Library Valkyrie says political affiliation isn't equivalent to something like sexual orientation. Well, nothing trumps sexual orientation, does it? When you make choices that hurt a lot of people, some of those people aren't going to like you or want to give you money. They can always change their political views and stop doing stuff that hurts people. Right-wing business owners are not entitled to anyone's money. Okay. First of all, it's like this belief that they are correct is astounding. And this belief that people are being harmed. You know, they often are saying this. They're accusing us of genocide. They're accusing us of dehumanizing people. And these things just don't happen. You know, it's all nonsense. Sorry, there's not much more of this to keep going through, but I think it's important to go through all of this. And then Effort OK says, I agree with you on a personal level, but I also can't, in good conscience, condone something I condemn right-wingers for just because it happens to align with my own worldview. My morals aren't contingent on the behavior of others. I understand that I am in the minority of one, though. Okay, so yeah, there's another thread completely to do with that, which I didn't share. And then it goes on, doxing is not cultural. It has a specific definition. You're moving the goalposts. So it's like they're turning on each other here now, aren't they? I mean, it's clear. It clearly does because, excuse me while I just come here, come on. Because we seem to both be using it slightly differently. If you don't agree that searching for identifying or sorry, I'm reading this wrong. If you don't agree that searching for identifying or sensitive info, examples, sexual orientation, gender identity, political beliefs, religious beliefs, that a business has not openly shared, and sharing that info as fact on a large platform without cross-checking is doxing, then you could replace it with the word outing. But in my cultural context, we'd use the word doxing, the same as publishing the names and identifying info of individuals. And again, I'm sympathetic to the reasons why. I just can't get on board with it because of how destructively it's used on the right. Master's tools, master's house. Okay, well, I want to really take this to task because people on the right don't do this. I don't know anyone on the right, the so-called right. When I say this, I'm using it in their terms so they understand this. Nobody that I know, we're mostly centrists, but we have never doxed anybody. But several of us have been doxed. I've had my full address published. I've had medical information published. I've had the whole everything sexual. I have been accused of it, everything. So they accuse me of paedophilia. They accuse me of having rent boys. They accuse me of being a sexual molester of women. Basically, everything they've accused me of. And it's like, but that's okay because that's coming from the left. The cat's going crazy in the kitchen, sorry. Anyway, right. So, and then Weird Name says, I haven't seen Size Inclusive Collective doxing anyone or any current posts about blocked on their Instagram page. And then backwards, he is harassing them. No, I don't harass anybody. All I do is highlight what people are doing to other people. So Size Inclusive Collective is literally damaging people's income streams. So therefore, people need to know what kind of a person she is. If she was just minding her own business, I would never have brought up her name ever. Why would I? Anyway, Undecipherable Name says, I haven't... sorry, I'm rereading that, aren't I? And then Effort says, I haven't seen any posts about blocked either. Just businesses being outed for being listed on a website that has ties to Trump, the right, agenda in the US, or for following accounts that indicate they're Trump voters. Some businesses have stayed silent. Some are out and proud MAGAs and don't care. Some were the wrong call, but weren't asked or made aware first, and now the damage is done. Though I think she does publish corrections. I get the reasoning behind it, but it's not that different to what the original poster is doing here, so I'm wary of it. Wow. So basically, people who are on their side have been harmed by this. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? The harm they do to people, yet they're constantly accusing us of harming them when we don't. We just try to get on with our lives. You know, we are just trying to sit in our corner of the world, in the corner of the internet, knit. I'm producing a magazine for our people, and anyone can read it if they want to. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for us. And other people amongst our group, we're just doing our thing. We're minding our own business, yet they continue to try and harm us time after time after time. And then Ickflip says, I once again begging for people to post some context for those of us who aren't terminally online. Literally no idea what any of this is about. It's like, don't you wish we were all like Ickflip and didn't have any idea what all this was about? And then Sea of Delusion, glad I'm not the only one. And then I'm out of the loop. I'm hoping the politics isn't referring to In the Moment's name change. You know, and this is where these rumors start. So because this Sea of Delusion has written that there, you can guarantee that other people will read that, pick it up, and then that will become a fact. They'll be saying, oh, I saw a post where Block Magazine, you know, was referring to In the Moment's name change. Well, I did talk about it before, but in relation to what they were saying. And then Junior Ad says, oh, God, given the folks, I hate that. Given the folks behind Block Magazine, I'll eat my hat if being non-binary doesn't come into it. But also anything slightly critical of, or, you know, just truthfully shining a light on, folks on the alt-right gets them screaming about how political you're being. I mean, most of us who are reading this will just be thinking, what planet are these people? You know, we experience a completely different world to what they experience. You know, they completely see things through a weird lens. They really do. Okay, finally, we're at the last page. So, glad I'm not the only one. So that's Sea of Delusion. Oh, yeah, I'm reading this again, aren't I? Okay, then Effort OK says, I don't think people are arguing about whether Block Magazine are being shitty, though. I'm sure they are. I think it's more questioning whether Arcane Fiberworks actually did this, since they have continued to collab with Aspen in the 2 years or so since this post was apparently made, which also explains the dead name. So they're not arguing that I'm shitty, apparently. Again, but it's like, show the evidence. Their Junior Ad, right, I was more trying to explain why Blocked dislikes Aspen rather than suggesting Arcane is best buddies with Blocked. Arcane is on the business of selling yarn and providing super basic discount codes to folks who ask is part of that. The reason Blocked gives in this post for not wanting to use their Aspen's link was not necessarily part of their blocked communication with Arcane to get the code mentioned, which is certainly not personalized to Blocked. Oh, God, minor editing. You could have done a bit more editing on that, I think, Junior. And then Effort OK. No, it's about a very old video they made about two MAGA knitters who got kicked out of Ravelry. I think it's in one of their Ravelry deep dive vids. Ah, thank you. It's a very confusing post. Isn't it just? Whew, right. So, while I've been doing that, I've not been able to read any comments. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off the screen for a second, make me a bit smaller. And I'm just going to have a quick look at some of the comments that were made and we'll talk about them. Right. So, where is it? You, sir, are about to break the law in several different countries. Law enforcement are aware and monitoring the situation in the UK and USA. You have been warned. And then, what other comments do we have? Hi, Neil, you naughty thing. I know. Let's see. Then here he is again. Looking forward to your imminent arrest. Me too. Me too. It's going to be really fun. Before I said I didn't know what MLM meant, and it means multi-level marketing. Thank you, Hartley's Handmade. Okay, so Jay says, reporting for threatening to dox. Police are involved. Oh my God. Get the tissues ready, everybody. And then here we go. Monkey03, doxing people. It feels fitting because you support a criminal, just like yourself. What else? Yeah, this is true. So don't forget about the people with several hundred or more AstroTurf accounts that dogpile on anyone with a political leaning they deem too conservative. Yeah. And then Catherine, thank you, Stewie and Jay. I've also reported. Now, Catherine, that's interesting. So, Catherine, I believe you are a patron, aren't you, Catherine? I think you've just outed yourself there, Catherine. Yep, this is true. Guilty until proven innocent. Yep, that's true. Monkey03, I've already reported this, but I'm going to do it again. Yes, Annie, blimey, there's some people who can dish it but can't take it. Absolutely. Do you think doxing people is considered taking it? What are you worried about, Monkey03? Are you one of the people that I'm about to share their details? There's a lot of people relying on the anonymity of the internet to behave in ways they'd never dream of doing in a direct interaction. Let's see. Oh no, there's more. Yeah, Liz, that's reporting it before it happens. Oh, poor Catherine. Catherine, I feel so sorry for you. Sadly, the platform may only take action after the doxing occurs. But if he goes there, grab your pen. We're on the ready to report. And thank you, whoever of us will be turning it over to the police. Oh, Catherine, can we not be friends? Oh, bless. Absolutely a Wenith. A bunch of triggered weenie babies. Yeah, and have you noticed we've got more people watching today for some reason? I wonder why that might be. Teresa's got a pen ready. Oh, yeah, it's not going to be long now. We're almost at that point. And even if we are alt-white, I can't get my words out. Even if we were alt-right, sunshine is the best disinfectant. Let people speak. There are actually neo-Nazis out there who look at people like us and consider us liberals. Absolutely. Yeah. I think this is the thing with it, isn't it? When they call us racist and when they call us Nazis, they completely diminish that word. It loses all meaning. And people who are actually racist and people who are actually Nazis, they're getting away with it because people are looking in the wrong place. They're just looking at people that they don't like. That's all it is. Who else? Yes, I did. I woke infiltrated them. Can we have a colorway called woke infiltrated? Yeah. Postcards at the ready, yeah, because we'll have to do a postcard campaign because I think they'll enjoy getting our handwritten letters sent to them. Someone else is getting the paper ready. Yeah, they also call my cats ugly. Yeah, this is interesting, isn't it? So thanks, Trace, for this. What they don't understand is that we don't think about them ever. Meanwhile, they're hate watching and reading. Yeah, I don't think about them ever until they talk about me in Craftsnark or Bit Cheating Crafters. Because what happens, I don't think they realize how it works. They think that we're all isolated. They don't realize that we've got a really good group. And all it takes is for one person in that group to read what they put on Craftsnark, and they just send me a message or they post it in one of our groups. And then I just go and look at it. And then I get to see all the craziness that they're saying about me. So, I don't have to actually do anything. I don't even have to look. Yes, absolutely. Every single thing they accuse accuse us of is what they have actually been up to. Absolutely. Oh, Catherine, are you and Stu best friends? Oh. And okay, so they are calling themselves out. That's who they are. Right then. So what I was thinking is, who should we start with? So I wonder whether Queen Baruthiel would be a good one to start with. Because Queen Baruthiel has said some really, really nasty lies about us, and never shows any evidence. She's the one that says that I've been doxing people. Oh yeah, so Stu and Catherine and all the other trash that are in the chat there, perhaps you'd be good enough to show us where I've doxed people in the past. I mean, granted, I'm about to do it now, and but when did I do it in the past? When? Prove it. Yeah, have you got your crayons out? Right, so the first one, I think, is going to be Queen Baruthiel. So Queen Baruthiel, she's interesting because she doesn't live where you think she's going to live. You know, she lives on a different continent. And
you've been blocked.
Yeah, so obviously I was never going to dox anybody. And just so in case people don't realize that, this is a post from our chat from way back May the 18th, where after they'd accused me of doxing, I decided I was going to give them a 2-week run-up of promising them I was going to dox them all. Now, I didn't think this was even going to work because I thought, oh, well, nobody, cares about little old me over in England. Nobody, talks about me, or what is it? They're not allowed to talk about me, so why would they even care? So anyway, I decided to post this, and I knew, because I've had form with these people. I knew that they would be getting their knickers in a twist, and as you can see by the likes of Stuart and Catherine and others that are here, there's at least 12 people who are watching now that are are going now. It's funny, I can see people logging off. They've realized that they've been fooled. So anyway, there's a little bit more to the story. Yeah, this is good. Thank you. Anyone that knows me knows I don't do things like doxing people. I really don't. People think I am evil, and it does make me laugh, and I don't care that they think I'm evil because I know that I'm not. But anyway, I want to talk to you about something that happened to me today, where this really shows the level of pettiness and patheticness of our opponents, shall we call them? I got a phone call from the police today. Now, just to prove that, because often if these things happen, they'll say, oh, he's making it up. I recorded the phone call and I shared it with my friends in a Telegram group. So if you're there, if you heard that phone call, please say in the comments that you heard the phone call, just so that the haters can see that this is true. Because as always, I always come up with the goods. I always have the evidence. I always have the receipts, as they say. Well, this phone call was actually really funny because the police officer contacted me and I could tell he was a bit embarrassed to even bring up the subject. And he said, right from the beginning, he said, just so you know, this is not going any further, so he was everything. He was calling me mate, which is a very Mancunian thing. He's like, oh, listen, mate, it's this. And he said, yeah, we've had, what was the phrase he used? Malcom, which is malicious communication accusation. And he said, oh, but I've spent an hour, he said, reading through, and there's clearly a history of stuff. And there's a fly, go away. And the history has gone back 3 years. And he said that, he could see that it was oh, what's that word? Vexatious, and that these were vexatious claims. And basically, when he said the word knitting from a knitting group, we both were laughing. And he went, yeah, and it's like, yeah, you have no idea. So I happily told him, that I was the victim of this. And the funny thing was, it was so obvious. He did not want, he just wanted to end it. He wanted to sign off and get this out of the way, because I think he felt stupid even raising it as an issue. So those people that reported me to the police are on my side. I hate to break that to you, because the thing is, what you have to understand is that they've had a whole year now of people reporting people to the police for silly things that have happened online. And individual police officers, they don't give a shit. They don't want to be involved because they think it's stupid as well. And this particular police officer clearly saw you all for what you are, the ones that have reported it, and clearly could see, because what I think has happened is that there have been multiple reports against me over the last 3-4 years, and they have that on record. And obviously, I have never, ever done anything illegal. And, the having opinions is not illegal, even in the UK, where our freedom of speech is heavily curtailed. I'm actually a little bit cleverer than your average person. I make sure I don't get myself into trouble. I know how to say my opinions without it being offensive. Because the thing is, one of my rules, and this, is something that you haters should take on board. Even when I'm having an argument with you, I'm always polite. I'm always courteous. And I never, ever throw insults unless somebody's throwing an insult at me. And the thing is, because there's no need for, the nonsense that you people use against us, for example. So, and that's one of the reasons why you all hate me, is because every time, if I've ever contacted any of you, because I have contacted some of you on different occasions, I have been absolutely polite and nice. I've invited you on to my show to chat about these things. And then what people do, they try and say that I've harassed them. But to be harassed, it has to happen more than once. So I give people one go, I will contact them. So, for example, I contacted Gigi once after she invited me to contact her 5 times. So I have this on, I've got the video evidence to show that she said, come to me. If you've got something to say, come to me directly. So I did. I sent her a lovely message. It was really nice, which I still have the screenshot of, so I can prove it. And then she went and cried on screen saying that I was harassing her, that I would not leave her alone. So Gigi is a liar, as is Fatima Hines. She did exactly the same. Now, she insulted my family. She said awful things about my mother. And in the message to her, I just put in there, my mum says hi, by the way. And then she tried to turn that onto me, harassing her. One message that I sent to her. Again, she also said, if you've got a problem, come and talk to me directly, which I did. So the thing is, what happens, haters, is that you need somebody to hate. You need somebody to fill that space that you've created, where if you can't just criticize things that are wrong. So, for example, all lives matter. They do. All lives matter. No life should go above anybody else's. And if you think that that's evil and bad, that's because you've created a space in your own heart, in your own soul, that you need to fill it with something. You need to fill it with some hate from somewhere. And it's like, because it doesn't make sense. How can all lives matter be a hateful statement? It does not make any sense. So anyway, haters, you were well and truly fooled. And it's actually quite funny. So I wasn't going to do this show until Saturday, but I thought, no, I'll do it tonight, because the thing is, I actually said to the police officer, I sent him a text with the link to this show. And I said to him, it's clickbait. That's what this is about. It's clickbait. And he may well be watching. So come and arrest me PC, come on, PC. I won't say his last name because I don't want to dox anybody. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. I hope the reading of the nonsense at the beginning wasn't too boring. But yeah. What's this one? You should be able to charge those who have been falsely reporting. They are wasting police resources on petty primary school drama. Absolutely. But I think the thing is, it's definitely given me a bit of a boost knowing that the police are on my side on this one, and they know how pathetic these people are. Because you can imagine what they've been reporting, can't you? He said all lives matter. It's like, they're not going to put me in prison for saying all lives matter. They're not going to put me in prison for saying, a woman is an adult human female. At least not now, they're not. Thank you. Yes, has been fun. Yeah. And yes. So are the weirdos still here? I think they might still be here. They're obviously crying. They're probably on the phone to the police now, trying to figure out how they can report me. He said he was going to dox people, but then he didn't. Call the police. Anyway, for the second time, I'll do the old one, actually. I've not done the old one for a long time. So, everybody, and especially you haters,